Imagine knowing that your next decision could cost you your life. That was the reality for Queen Esther. Standing before the massive doors of the throne room, she took a deep breath. If the king didn't extend his golden scepter, she would be executed, but she had no choice. Her people's survival depended on her courage. What would you do in her place? This is the story of Esther, the orphan girl who became a queen and risked everything for God's purpose. And by the end of this video, you'll see how her story applies to your life today. Esther was just an ordinary Jewish girl, raised by her cousin Mordecai after losing her parents. She never imagined she would one day live in a palace. But then came an unexpected twist. King Ahasuerus removed Queen Vashti in order to search for a new queen. Beautiful young women were taken to the royal courts, and Esther was among them. She didn't seek power or status, but God's favor was upon her. Out of all the women, the king chose Esther as queen. But Mordecai warned her not to reveal her Jewish identity. Esther obeyed, not knowing that this one decision would later save an entire nation. Sometimes we don't understand why God places us in certain positions, but he sees the bigger picture. Where has God placed you that might be part of his greater plan? Haman, the king's most powerful official, he craved honor, and when Mordecai refused to bow to him, Haman was furious. Out of hatred, he convinced the king to sign a decree ordering the destruction of all Jews in Persia. When Mordecai heard of the decree, he was devastated. He sent a message to Esther, urging her to go to the king and plead her your people. But Esther was terrified. Approaching the king without being summoned could mean instant death. Mordecai's response? Who knows if you were made queen for such a time as this? Esther 4:14. Esther knew she had to act, but first, she fasted and prayed for 3 days. When faced with a challenge, do we let fear stop us, or do we trust that God has placed us there for a purpose? After 3 days, Esther took a deep breath and stepped forward. The guards watched. The king looked up. Would he extend the golden scepter or call for her execution? Then the golden scepter was raised. Esther was safe, but she didn't rush her request. Instead, she invited the king and Haman to a banquet, and then another one. Esther was wise. She waited for the right moment. At the second banquet, she finally revealed the truth. My king, someone has plotted to destroy my people. The king was outraged. Who would do such a thing? This wicked man, Haman. Haman was terrified, and in a stunning turn of events, the king ordered Haman to be executed on the very gallows he had built for Mordecai. Esther didn't act recklessly. She sought God, used wisdom, and then moved in courage. Are you waiting on the right timing in your own life? The king gave a new decree allowing the Jews to defend themselves. When the enemies attacked, the Jews stood victorious. Mordecai was promoted, and Esther remained a powerful queen. The Jewish people celebrated this victory with the Feast of Purim, a festival still observed today. How does Esther's story apply to you? 1. God positions us for a purpose. Where you are right now is not an accident. 2. Faith requires action. Esther had to step out in boldness. 3. God is always in control. Even when he seems silent, he is working behind the scenes. Just like Esther, you were made for such a time as this. Will you step into the purpose God has for you?